What's up, gamers? Koobs here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. I feel like it's been a while. It's been a while, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited because Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is gonna release in 8 weeks now, and I know that you're excited too. That's why you're here. You clicked on the video because you're excited. I'm making this video for you to click on because I'm excited, and the excitement is just resonating between us, between me and between you. There's some funky tunes playing in the background. As I record this, I can't hear the music in the background, but I know that it's there. So trying to also appreciate the fact that we got some nice little vibes happening. This is gonna be episode 3, part 3, I guess, of my Let's Make an Invader series. Tips for invaders. There you go, your first one. When you kill a phantom, you want to chug your flask. Wait a second, he's not dead. Well, rats, Koobs, you just fumbled your very first tip. Well, tip number 1, when you kill them, make sure that they're dead. So we'll start there. This guy living on just a sliver of hope, just a fraction of that health bar. He's got 1 vigor left. You can even see him stand up at the end. But that is a good tip, to chug your flask after you think that you've taken out an enemy, because it will get replenished for you. And so, you know, we've been around the block a few times now. I'm gonna assume that you have some knowledge of invasions, how to be successful, and these are going to be maybe some helpful tips to help you along the way as you get back on the old metaphorical bicycle, as I would like to say. And this is how you enjoy a nice cold iced Estus right there. Shout out to you, gamer. Appreciate you, brother. Anyway, so here we've got another invasion. Now these are all taking place on my level 25 Invader. We've got +3 weapons. You get a lot of invasions here in Limgrave, in the Weeping Peninsula, in Stormvale Castle, and I really like this level range for invasions. But at a certain point, it becomes more about style than it does about the substance. If you know what I mean, it's after you've been invading for so long, it's like it's no longer satisfactory or sufficient to just get a kill on a phantom. You got to get a cool kill on a phantom. You got to get a cool kill on a host. So sometimes you just got to be a little, you know, observant of the surroundings, and you got to appreciate what you've been given. It's not every day that there's a giant golem slinging big arrows at the host and his friend. So here we're just going to try to do our best to navigate this field and make sure that something cool and something awesome can happen. Just like that. And so you have to be aware as an invader. Those opportunities, they don't come, you know, every day. You could spend an hour invading and get a bunch of, you know, bonfire duelists, people just trying to, you know, pick on these low-level invaders, but something awesome happens like this. You got to take advantage of it. So that's our second or third, I guess, tip of the video, and there will be plenty more. But we're just brushing up our skills. We're getting reacquainted with our environments because we got some havoc to wreak in a good 8 weeks. And if you are unfamiliar, it seems as though we're going to need to have taken down Mohg in his Mohgwyn Dynasty mausoleum. We got to take him out, and we've also got to take out Radahn. And both of those you could actually do with a level 1 character. I've done it. And you could look up how to do the fight against Mohg. You can kind of just sidestep it a little bit if you don't mind. And the one against Radahn, if you just ride around and summon, I mean, it's tough, but you can do it. So with that in mind, it's going to be really easy for us to make all sorts of fun invaders and then go into the DLC Shadow the Erdtree area and get different gear to use in our invasions, which is really cool. Oh, okay, so here's an important one. When they roll towards you, that's when you're supposed to parry. Okay, that's about as much as I'm going to explain there. We're going to reverse it. We're going to slow it down a little bit. And I will repeat myself. But when they roll towards you, that's when you want to parry. Okay, see, he rolled towards me. I didn't parry. I was able to still get him with the parry. But it's when he rolls towards you, you want to parry. Okay? We clear on that? Everybody saw what happened? We are good. We are all in the upper echelon of invaders. This is not, we're not beginners here. The beginner videos are somewhere else on the channel or somewhere else on YouTube here. All sorts of people. Chase the Bro talking to the beginners with the tips. Here, go for the charged second R2. Sometimes they don't expect it. You know, they see you throw the first one. They don't always expect the second one. Throw that second one. That's a big tip right there. Here, had a lot of questions. What happens if you're on the Griffin's back when it takes off flying? The first thing that you want to do is remain calm. You don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize your own safety. Just continue to do what you had been doing previously, working on those wings. At a certain point, they're going to get a little bit uncomfortable. You're going to want to move up to that collarbone area, right in where kind of the clavicle would be, right around the shoulder blades. Try to work inside there, and if that's not working, then what you can do is try to reposition yourself maybe more towards their neck. But you do want to be careful, and this is going to be another tip for all of you invaders. Gravity is going to be your best friend. In all situations, gravity can overcome, so you want to use gravity to your advantage there. And then of course, once they've dropped down, you can just do your thing as a seasoned invader and take out that high level enemy. So that's what you would do in that situation. So see, these are all really useful tips that we can apply to our invasions. Here, okay, the bull goat, the bully goats, they are, I would almost classify them as an endangered species now. They're certainly not extinct, but they are not populating the lands between as heavily as they previously had been. You might notice me here, we are backing down the bully goat. That's going to serve two purposes. Number one, it's gonna give them the confidence to think that you are afraid of them. You are not actually afraid of this bully goat, but they are going to believe that you are, because you are walking backwards as they are walking forwards. It's also going to tire them out, and because they have on such big armor, they're carrying this large shield, and the serpent hunter, it's a lot. They've got a heavy equip load, and so just that light work exercise of walking towards you is going to tire them out, so that you can finally land that blow. You want to get right underneath where those two horns meet, right in the solar plexus area, and then drive upwards. Now, you don't have to assert dominance afterwards. That is optional, but I think that it further reinforces the fact that you are better than the bully goat. And then I don't want to gloss over that last part too quickly. I know it happened fast, but if you can burn the eyeballs of the host, that'll further help them deal with the fact that their connection to their bully goat has been severed right before their very eyes. So those are just some quick tips when dealing with a bully goat in the lands between. Alright, so this is going to be our last invasion that we're going to take a look at here. And for this particular invasion, oh, see, we got parried there. Don't be afraid, don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed if you get parried. It happens to all of us. In order to be a better invader, and I would argue in order to be better parrier, then we should accept when it happens to ourselves so that we can further learn from those experiences. But anyways, what I wanted to say was that I was invited to a group of fellow invaders, and they had a kind of like a challenge that they were posting at the time, and the requirements were basically to perform a gank spank with equipment that you can find in Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula. And so basically, a low-level character with low-level gear, basic equipment, and performing a gank spank. Now, it's sometimes difficult to evaluate whether or not the invader has performed a gank spank to the gankers. Sometimes it's difficult to determine if they are ganking. In this particular instance here, we have the host who is playing more of a supportive healer role. They haven't been directly in conflict with us as an invader, but that does not mean that they are not a guilty party in this encounter. You might have noticed that the phantoms started throwing sleeping pots, which are not cheap. They're not impossible to find. You can actually find the recipe for them early on in the game, but they do require materials or crafting resources that can sometimes be scarce. And you might have also noticed at one point there, we did happen to take out one of our phantoms there, so that's going to give us a boost of confidence. Always take that in stride when you can. As an invader, you got to celebrate those small victories. We've talked about that before here on the channel. But furthermore, you might have noticed that they pulled out the magma curved sword for a second there, and that can be a very dangerous weapon, especially at low level for us invaders. And so, yeah, I mean, you could maybe call these phantoms gankers, I would say. Not the most egregious of it, but I would say that this could be categorized as a gank spank, assuming that we are successful in the end of our endeavor. But however, so that was the gist of the challenge. But the tip that I want to pass along to you, fellow gamer, fellow invader, awesome, is celebrate those victories. Like I said, he's celebrating for us, we're celebrating. And what it comes down to is just being able to challenge yourself, push your own boundaries in order to get a little bit better. You know, that's how you're gonna get that improvement. Most of us invaders, we didn't get here overnight. We didn't just play the game and then suddenly become amazing at invasions because we can kill some bosses. It's not always the most translatable. Going out and doing invasions, that's what you want to do, and you got about a good 8 weeks to do it before the fantastic long-awaited DLC is upon us. I'm just kind of showing my build in the background here, just because I mentioned this was like a little bit of a challenge I was doing. So you can see I've got 4 talisman slots on this level 25 character, but I was only using 2 talismans, and I wasn't using things like volcano pots and poison bone darts and stuff like that I would normally use. I do have a bunch of flasks, so I mean, you could say that helped me out a little bit, but you can do it. You don't need very much. You can do it, gamers. I have been and always will be Coobs. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate you, gamers. Peace and love to you.